Wow. I just recorded a video starting at 6 o'clock. I got it all loaded, put onto YouTube, put onto Facebook, and there was no sound. Now I get warnings all the time that there's no audio. I ignore them because there's always audio. This time there really wasn't any audio. So my ignoring the warning paid no attention. I paid no attention to it, and it backfired on me. And I still don't understand. I know the last couple of times I've made videos with other people, and I may change the microphone setting. I don't know. Anyway, the title of this video is I Found My Lost Legal Documents. My daughter was insistent, which really pissed me off. She insisted that no one came into the house and took the court papers filed in my case. Well, I could not fall asleep for over 2 hours until I finally got up and went to the back of my closet where I found a large box wrapped in plastic wrap. There were my lost papers. As I looked through them, I realized that when the first lawsuit was over, I put the documents away, sealing them for safekeeping, which I totally forgot doing. I guess I owe an apology. Oh, I have own. I didn't even notice that the first time. Owe an apology to everyone for insisting that someone stole them. Now the record, or the second case, needs to have the case dismissed show up in the court records. Yeah. And confusion even in the creation of this video, which sort of stands to reason that since this whole thing has been convoluted from the beginning, I mean, Dr. Mary, in her will and trust papers, left me her house, which was put on the market, and a bridge loan for $999,000. I had two offers back in the first 6 months of putting it on the market, one for $870 and one for $850. That's $870,000 and $850,000 for the sale of the property. And remember, it was a bridge loan, and it was not with PNC Bank. PNC Bank had nothing to do with anything back then. They ended up being a bank, and a bank removed from buying paperwork. That's all they did, is bought or transferred paperwork. But they owned nothing. They have never had a lawful claim on this property, not ever. And when their lawyer came to me, their attorney came to me in the other case and said, we need to sell that property on Merritt Island. I said, okay. They wanted to appoint a power of attorney, and I gave them a conditional agreement. The agreement was, you can sell the property. I will not make any financial claims against it. I keep my house. That's all I wanted out of it. I keep my house. They ended up selling the house for $275,000, which was the same amount of money that I paid for this house, which is now worth less than half that. And the property on Merritt Island is still worth $600,000, $700,000, maybe even $800,000 because it's prime real estate. My house where I live is not prime real estate, far from it. But I paid a prime real estate price because I was stupid and not educated on how real estate works, and the real estate broker convinced me that I needed to take the top dollar because this house was going to go fast. Yeah, well, it went fast all right to a sucker. And I didn't even say that in the first video. But in any case, this first lawsuit was dismissed, which is why I put all the paperwork from that lawsuit into a box and wrapped it with plastic wrap and buried it in the back of my closet, and totally forgot that I had done that. And when I earlier this year opened the drawers to look at the old records and saw the empty drawers, I thought, oh my God, somebody stole it. Nobody did. I just forgot. I just forgot what I had done at the end of that case. Now this current thing is a new case filed by a different attorney. PNC Bank does not claim to even be part of it. They wash their hands and have a disclaimer because they're committing fraud. They're committing fraud. Their attorney on their behalf made an agreement with me, a binding agreement, and they have bridged and broken that agreement by filing these new lawsuits, which are still on the court records as PNC owning the property. That's not true. I've been here 10 years. I've been the only lawful owner. Yes, the bridge loan was never paid. I acknowledge that. It was never paid, but it was not paid for a reason, because I could not sell the property. If anybody needs to be penalized, it's Phyllis Wilhelm, because she was the one who created the firestorm and claimed that they had some lawful claim to the property, which still hasn't been resolved in 10 years, obviously. But I'm the one that lives here. I've lived here for over 10 years now, since July 2005. And the loan was approved, I believe, in June 2005. So, and it wasn't a mortgage, and PNC, again, had nothing to do with it. They still have nothing lawful to do with it, even though they are shown in the court records as being the owner, and they are paying the taxes on the property. Let them pay them. I don't owe them because they have made a claim. And they're going to owe me big time if there's ever justice done in a countersuit for all the pain and suffering and anguish they've caused me by making a false claim and bridging and breaking their first agreement made with their attorney to leave my house alone. They broke that agreement. They broke that contract. And yes, it is a matter of contract. And I hope that this clears this up for a lot of people that claim, oh, PNC Bank has, they're the lawful owners of your property. No, they're not. They never were. They never were. And the Wilhelms never had a lawful claim either against the property. Dr. Mary had been tricked by them, and then she realized that she had been fooled. Again, Mr. Wilhelm was her banker, was never involved with her on the spiritual level, had no personal relationship other than a business relationship. And Phyllis Wilhelm tried to steal Dr. Mary's house. And it wasn't him. He had at least one, maybe more than one stroke, and was not even totally cognizant of a lot of things, which came out in the court hearing where he was on the stand for 2 hours after I was on for over a day and a half, grilled by PNC's attorney, who acted like I'm his enemy, and PNC Bank was getting half of the property and I was getting the other half, minus $50,000 to 3 different people. Anyway, I hope this clears up the confusion for a lot of you. I'm sorry I had to do 2 videos. I hope the sound comes out good on this one. I thank you for listening. Namaste.